So this overhyped January 6th hearing thing has already featured this teary-eyed Adam Kinzinger and Rhino Liz Cheney selling out on Republican values. But what could possibly be next?
Yeah, for more on this, let's welcome back former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Thank you so much for joining us. So when this first started on the primetime made-for-TV show, Liz Cheney said, "You're going to see, you're going to hear." But then it came out that they're most likely not going to have any sort of criminal charges against President Trump. So what will we see? What will we hear?
You're going to hear more propaganda and more of the left's talking points to try to, save their shrinking political fortunes. It's good to be with you this morning. I just see this as a complete show trial. It is obviously intended to do two things and only two things. One is to, smear patriotic Americans who didn't enter the Capitol but happened to be in Washington on January 6th, and then obviously to try to prevent Donald Trump from running in 24. And so I don't think they're accomplishing their goals, and I think the more they try to do this, it is blowing up in their face as Americans are seeing how vapid this committee is and the members of it, because all they can do is read from a script on a teleprompter in front of them without any kind of thought or theme.
Well, that is actually the funny part. Is this is all scripted, and they're not making this stuff as they go along. They actually thought about this beforehand, wrote it down on a prompter. Let's talk about the legal ramifications here, because they have sold this to the American people as an insurrection. That is a crime in and of itself. How many people have been charged of insurrection?
Well, none. Most have been charged with misdemeanors of unlawful entering of a secured area. And it's, this is where, words matter, and a complicit press is not going to push back. I mean, at most, I've said many times that this was a riot. Obviously, there were elements that were trying to lead the group into the Capitol. But to some extent, it's like the old saying, it's which part of the elephant you're looking at. Because in some places, the Capitol Police, guided people and were helpful. In other places, there were altercations. And as I've said several times on Newsmax before, political violence is never accepted. But if this January 6th committee were serious, they'd do two things. They'd look at all the political violence in the summer of 2020, and then they would also include in their charge a review of the intelligence and security situation at the nation's capital and make sure that those were buttoned down. But of course, nobody wants to look at that because all roads lead to Nancy Pelosi and her failed leadership. And again, all you have to do is look at the price of gas to see how poor the Democrats are doing in managing the United States.
Oh, 100%. And we were talking about Liz Cheney earlier. So speaking of her, let's welcome in the person who is actually leading her by 30 points in Wyoming for the congressional seat, Harriet Hageman. Harriet, appreciate you being here. I know it's early your time, and that sun's just coming up, but that's the Wyoming way, I think.
I think that it is.
Most people have to run ads attacking their opponent. Are you just sitting back having a margarita watching her do this to herself?
Well, I wish it was that easy, but no, I'm actually traveling the state nonstop. As you can probably tell, I'm in yet another hotel room.
Yep.
I'm in Lander this morning. We were in Meeteetse last night. We've been in Cody. We're pushing 30,000 miles at this point, traveling the state of Wyoming and meeting with the voters on the issues that are important to them.
Yeah, Harriet, you're meeting with the voters and talking about the issues that are important to them, which I'm assuming it's everything that we're talking about, the economy, gas prices. And she is in D.C. doing this hearing. What are people saying to you there?
People are livid and people are embarrassed. The fact is, Wyoming only has one congressional seat. We need to make it count. We need to have someone who represents our interests, our values, and our agenda. We never sent Liz Cheney to Washington, D.C. to become the judge and jury of President Trump and his supporters. One of the things that I keep hearing about from everybody, whether they are attorneys or lay people, is they're shocked at the level of that this committee is willing to go to deny due process. And I think that that's one of the things that is just really fascinating to watch, is you truly understand what it means when you talk about a Soviet show trial. Hearsay, double hearsay, triple hearsay, people talking about, well, I heard from so-and-so that they heard from so-and-so that such and such said said something. It's absolutely crazy. When you're a real attorney, as I am, that is absolutely abhorrent to think that we could have a hearing or a trial that's going down this road.
Yeah, Matt, but let's talk about that hearsay versus due process. I mean, they were going to prove unequivocally, Liz Cheney said it in her opening remarks, that they were going to prove that Donald Trump was the architect of this, despite saying peacefully and patriotically. Does he have any legal ramifications to come after this?
No, he doesn't. And Harriet makes an incredibly good point. There is, as you know, there's no opposition, there's no cross-examination, there's no defense or anyone that can challenge the evidence that's being presented. And the hearsay has been, you know, as to Harriet's point, I'm also a trial lawyer by training. And at the end of the day, you know, I just sit there when I do dip in to see how ridiculous this thing is, you know, and I just see how many hearsay objections. But the due process thing is so important because in America, you know, you're not only are you innocent until proven guilty in the criminal courts, but you're also entitled to a fair process. You know, so we have no impartiality, we have no fairness, and we have all the rules being thrown out the window to serve political ends, and that is so dangerous.
Yeah, you look at fair. We don't. Jim Jordan wanted to be on that. They said no, Jim Banks. So is it fair? I don't know about that. But Harriet, last question to you. Obviously, you know, these topics that you talked about, the economy and everything, are so important. How will you help the folks in Wyoming if you're elected?
Well, focusing on the issues to expose and to try to block and stop the radical Biden agenda. The inflation is incredible. Yesterday, we filled up with $5.06 gasoline. I have seen $6.13 diesel in the state of Wyoming. We can't grow food on $5 a gallon diesel. We're going to start seeing some shortages in this country, the likes of which we have never seen, not in my lifetime, and not since rationing probably 80 years ago. Whoa. So we are heading into some very serious, dire straits, if you will, because of the horrific policies coming out of the Biden administration. We need to be blocking those, and we need to be pursuing policies that actually support and defend our fossil fuel industry. Yeah. We should be buying domestically produced energy. We should be producing it right here. Absolutely. It's cleaner, it's better for the environment, it's accessible, all of those things. And those are the issues that the voters in Wyoming want to talk about.
All right.
I'll be in Jackson Hole. I'll be in Jackson Hole middle of next month.
Okay.
All right. Matthew Whitaker, Harriet Hageman, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good weekend. And you're watching Wake Up America. We'll be right back.